All right, good afternoon. It's Vernon Briggs with Marshall County Watch, watching out for you. And we got a very special show today, and it's Get Out to Vote. Voting is Tuesday, and I'm coming to you live on my podcast, on Facebook, and on YouTube, and with WKRA 92.7 in Holly Springs. I messed that up last week. I'm surprised they had me to come back. But we got a lot to get into, and it's about money. Now, if you got questions, make sure you call in to 662-544-4013. 662-544-4013. If you got anything that we can talk about, you got questions, something that I can answer, maybe something I can find out for you. But we got a lot going on in Marshall County, and the problem is money. We got candidates taking money from special interest groups. And now that's not a good thing because we're paying these people to represent us. But they're taking money from a special interest group. Now, they're not giving them thousands of dollars because they think they look cute. They're giving them thousands of dollars because they want something back. And my thing is District 2 bleeding over into District 1 and District 3. Because if you got control of District 1, 2, and 3, and it's a 5 supervisor board, then you control the game. I mean, we don't need that. The thing is, if you going down the road in a car and it ain't got no brakes, you getting ready to hit a wall, and there's a car next to you, you don't know if it got brakes or not, but you know the one that you're in don't have brakes. To me, I would jump in this other car and take my chances. But that's a situation we got going on Tuesday. If we know that these guys, it's on my page, it's public notice. I mean, you can go to the courthouse right now and you can get copies of these financial disclosures from these candidates, and you can see who they was taking money from. And the special interest groups are out of Collierville. The special interest groups are out of Germantown. And why Germantown and Collierville, pouring money into Marshall County politics? We all know the answer to that. We got people that basically almost got families, a couple of families running this county. Oh, they got different names, but they're the same people. We got guys, they've been working on jobs for years. And then all of a sudden, somebody's grandson is in charge of them. Don't know what he's doing. We got a guy retiring, another guy got to train him. And then, why don't that guy speak out? Because he's been there 20, 30 years and he like his job. And if he speak out, you already know they're going to find some kind of way to weed him out. So he going to get fired or let go for some, arbitrary reason. But that's why we got to get out and vote. We got to go Tuesday. We got to get out and vote. And like I said, go on my podcast page, go on my personal Facebook page, go on Marshall County Watch. I got it all laid out for you. You ain't got to listen to me because the thing has been, Vernon Briggs don't know me. He don't know a darn thing about me. I don't have to know you. I just got to know the company you keep. That's going to tell a whole lot about what's going on with the company you keep. And ain't nobody saying nothing but Vernon Briggs. Vernon Briggs the only one that's complaining about it. Well, it's other people complaining, but see, up until now, they didn't have no outlet. But like I said, when they tell me, I'm going to let everybody know what's going on in Marshall County politics. Because if you're dirty, Marshall County going to clean you. Marshall County Watch going to clean you up. And that's what we're trying to do here. But now this is my thing. I'm not trying to tell you in no way who to vote for. You vote for whoever you want. My job here at Marshall County Watch is to let you know who's doing what they're not doing, what they should be doing, and in this case, special case, what they shouldn't be doing. And because are they working for us really, or are they working for these special interest groups that pouring all this money into their campaign? Now that's the thing right there. I mean, we're paying them, but these other guys paying them a little bit more. So who you think they're going to listen to? Why you think that you can't call certain politicians on the phone? They're not answering their phone. Look, I don't want to hear nothing you got going on because your concern ain't my concern no more. You done did what I needed you to do. I needed you to vote for me. Now I'm over here at these special interest guys meeting with them, seeing what they want me to do. I don't have time to talk with you. We had a politician last year, prime example, goes out to Grace Chapel out down in Hudsonville. He goes out there and says, hey, y'all ever went out to that Holly Springs hospital out there? I ain't no way I would go out there. I wouldn't even take my dog out there. But dude, you gotta touch. Because the people that you talking to can't afford to take a dog nowhere. They can't afford to go to the hospital that you wouldn't take your dog to. So that's how politicians are out of touch with who they represent. Because it ain't no way you should have been down there talking to them people, telling them that. You wouldn't take your dog to the place that they can't even afford to go themselves. But that's the thing. That's why Tuesday, we got to get out. We got to vote. We got to change this. Because people call me all the time. Well, Ms. Briggs, it ain't going to make no difference who you vote for. Because it's going to be the same no matter who you vote for. That was until now. Because, see, you didn't know all this backdoor dealing, all the dirt that was going on until now. But I'm letting you know, I'm telling you what's going on. Look at the two candidates that's running. Number one, they was appointed to their position. They was appointed. Okay, why were they appointed? Why, you look at both of them financial statements, you see the same names on both statements, who they took money from. You got another candidate that's pushing them. He got the same name on his financial statement. So that means the special interest. Do you want somebody? Now, it don't matter who the special interest group is. The thing is, it's the same one. And then the thing is, the same people taking the money. That's what we need to look at. The people are taking the money. If they taking the money from them, why do you think they got your interest at hand? You can't call them. Why do you think Holly Springs is where it is now? If you 50 years old, maybe even 40, you can remember what Holly Springs used to be. I mean, every shop uptown, everyone had something in it. We had 2 HBCUs in Holly Springs. Shawana Lake, oh man, Shawana Lake, on a holiday, you couldn't get in there. 4th of July, Labor Day, you couldn't get in there. It's been hard pressed to get in there on the weekend. Waldoxie, well, I know Waldoxie is a state park, but why we ain't looking at the A state? This was a money maker for us. Well, y'all need to tighten up. I mean, the tourism ain't what it was at Waldoxie no more. Why is that? Because we got people that think that's been since basically 1985 to now. Holly Springs has been in decline. We had 3 grocery stores in Holly Springs. Holly Springs been in a constant decline. So that means that every mayor from 1985 to right now, every District 1 supervisor from 1985 to right now is at fault for that. Because more money's been coming into the county since then. So what have they did or what have they not done to make the city go into decline like that? I'm not understanding it. And if you don't understand it like that, chime in, give me a call. Let's talk about this. And the thing is, let me see, we got a caller. Hey, we got a caller said she trying to understand what's going on. We being sold to the highest bidder. That's what's going on, caller. We are being sold to the highest bidder. These people are pouring money into Holly Springs, into Marshall County, I should say, to not do their job. That's what's going on. There's a lot of money going in, but it's moving in the wrong direction. That's what's going on. That's the only way, caller, that's the only way I can answer that. It's going in the wrong direction. I don't know if it's going in pockets or where it's going, but I can see with my eyes it ain't going into this town. And everybody, look, we got supervised, all these plants. Dude, you ain't got nothing to do with them plants up there. Them plants were there when you came in office. So what have you done since then? But everybody want to go to that. If this is the thing, I don't care if they put 100 plants up there. If I can't see it, it doesn't matter. If people can't see it, feel it, it doesn't matter what's going on. And that's the whole thing. You can talk about whatever plants and all this. You can talk about tax. I don't feel it in my tax. In my pocket, my tax is the same. Another caller. There's a long game to play. Mark my words. You're exactly right. It's a long game. And they've been playing a long game. That thing from 85 to now, it's been a long game. There's been a long game, and we getting the short end of the stick. And that's because people are getting paid to not represent us. That's what it is. What else can it be? I mean, explain to me if we get more money. Let me know what's going on. And we got a special guest here. We got Mr. Over here, Mr. We got Mr. on this right here. We got Mr. Ray Woods coming in. He's a candidate for District 3. And how you doing, Mr. Woods?
I'm doing good, and I apologize. I had to help some guys fix a piece of equipment, and it took all of us, and I'm just running a few minutes. I apologize.
Hey, look, no problem. Look, slide this way a little bit. We got a little glare over there.
Okay.
There we go. And the thing is, we're talking about this money that people are taking. And my thing is, where is it going to? I mean, I don't think, would you take money from special interest groups?
I've tried not to. That's why mine are myself and my brother supported me and my uncle, and I hadn't reached out to nobody. I didn't want nobody. I didn't want to have no conflict or nobody to be able to say this or that. So I didn't search nothing out.
See, that's my thing right there. We need politicians that ain't been bought and paid for already. And that's the opposite of what we got now. We got politicians, they've been bought and paid for, and then they're not really working for us. They're working for the special interest group. And that's the problem that we're having. Now, is it anything specific that you like to say or any input of what you would do or plan to do if you become the supervisor of District 3?
Well, I'm hoping that if we can make this happen Tuesday, and we're blessed to be the supervisor, that I'm going to try to bring everything back to the community, and I want to look at the community. Now we got to have the industrial, but also we have to lift our community up. We're sitting here. I'm 65 years old. The same four schools county schools have been in place since I was a kid.
Right.
Went to school. The same bottlenecks on the roads, whether it be state highway or county highway, are still there today. They're bigger. They're not smaller.
They're right.
And so as we're doing all this stuff for the industry, and we have to do this, but we also got to balance this because we also have to take the responsibility of the taxpayers' money, and we got to do things for the taxpayer. I mean, they got to have amenities and infrastructure, and I support. We need a new school on the north end. Probably need a high school on the south end. People travel a lot on buses. I think we need a better VOTEC system to help place people in some of these jobs that we're bringing here.
Exactly.
And I think we're a little short from where I can see and the people I talk to that's in the education and so forth, that that we need to grow that.
Yes.
That's something that needs to be nurtured now because we're getting overbalanced and we're not producing the workers that's going in the new facilities.
Right.
They're coming from other places. So what are we getting out of our balance on that? Because there is the give and take. And then infrastructure. And my daddy was a big infrastructure man. He worked real hard on all that. And he's part of the worked hard on getting the Norfolk Southern end to do their rail, even though that's in Tennessee, that made the industrial park out there what it is. And he also worked hard on the 269, and that has really influenced all this growth. And as the growth is coming out of Memphis and other parts of the country, because we are the hub.
The problem that the people are having with the growth is, we see growth, we see plants, we see all this other stuff. The problem is we're not feeling it in our pockets.
That's wrong. That's what I'm getting.
That's the problem. I was just, right before you walk in, I was just talking about how Holly Springs is different now from, say, 1985 to right now. All those shops uptown were full. I mean, you couldn't even start a building because every building was full. We had 2 colleges here. We had both 2 lakes that were running wide open.
That's right.
Now all that's gone, and I don't see where nobody's doing anything to change that. But it's money flowing in, but where is it going? We getting more tax dollars, but then people are not feeling it. If they don't see it, and then you can't talk to them. Most of the callers I get say, well, I ain't talked to my supervisor since, election day. Well, you're probably not going to talk to them again to the next election.
Right.
But my thing is, if you get elected Tuesday, will you come back to Marshall County Watch to my show and let the people know what you're doing, what you're trying to do?
I plan on being pretty transparent and being available. It's just I'm representing the people. I have no other agenda. I have nobody that I'm working for other than the people. So I'm kind of connected anyway, even though I have a business. Mm-hmm. But I'm in and out all the time, and when I see people that is in need, I try to help them. When I see things, I pick up the phone. It aggravates people sometimes. I call them and say, "Hey, you got a problem over here," whether it be a municipality or it be the county if it's really bad. Because I do. The construction I'm in is fixing construction, washouts, grass, environmental or whatever you would like to place on it, but it's they call it erosion control, and that's the last part, the stabilization after a project's finished and keeping it as it goes. So I see a lot of things, and I see where there's going to be a problem because that's what I do. So, and I pay a lot of attention to a lot of stuff like that. And sometimes people, they appreciate hearing that and they can fix it. And then sometimes people don't want to hear it, because they're not worried about it, but it's still being involved in your community because, and getting back to the infrastructure, we've got to have where people can flow freely. And then we have to have the things that they need to uplift their life. And I think that's the education in the schools.
Well, see, I was just talking
some improvements in it.
I was just talking about a candidate that went out to a church in the community, Grace Chapel, and we need some type of medical center here. But the only one that we got across the street here, he talked it down. So he wouldn't even take his dog over there. But then that's the disconnection between the candidate and the people, because the people he's talking to, they can't afford to go to where you wouldn't even take your dog to. I mean, that's a disconnect between that candidate and the people that he's supposed to be representing.
I feel pretty. This is kind of a special place. I've had to use this place. I've carried my children here when we lived at Ashland. We had a business, a cotton gin. This is back when I was a young man, and we had a cotton gin there and a cotton gin at Bahia. And Dad did that so I could prosper my life. And I've been blessed to be able to. Been making payroll to people since 1978, and by God's grace, I've always managed this right here. We use this all the time, and my granddaddy helped get it here, J.B. Woods, and when he was supervisor, worked real hard to get it, and when he left this and went across the Jordan, he was in this hospital. So it's a special place to me because and it was a very needed thing. It was a very blessed thing to a lot of people for a lot of years. I think it needs support.
That's my thing, because if you yourself, you're the supervisor in District 3, why would you talk down the only medical center that you have in your district? That doesn't make sense to me. But what I was just talking about this show is about, it means like follow the money. These special interest groups are coming in here giving these guys money to sway them to go another way. Now, if you got a 5-man board and you done donated money to 3 of them, you pretty much can do what you want in Marshall County. So what I'm saying today, we need to get out and vote. I'm not telling anybody who to vote for.
That's right.
But at the same time, if you got 3 people that are doing something that's kind of shady, because when I looked this up, all right, there's no limit on how much money I can donate to you if I'm donating money to your campaign. But the state of Mississippi says, hey, a corporation can only donate $1,000.
I think that's right.
Only $1,000 to your campaign, right? Okay, but I own Walmart. If I write you a Walmart check, I can only give you $1,000. But Vernon Briggs can give you as much money as I want to. So if I give you a check for $5,000, what difference is that between me and my business? It's a gray area. It's so gray, it's darn near black.
That's true.
It's a gray area. It's darn near black. But that doesn't matter about the corporation. It only matters if you take the bait. If you take the money, see, like I said, I just bought you. And you gonna, if I got some business here, you gonna swing my way. But then to the people out there, dude, is that what you want? Somebody that done bought your politician, dude, your candidate. So we need candidates like independent, that ain't dependent on these guys' money. They ain't in these guys' pockets. That's what we need in March County, because that's going to help us. But we want somebody that's going to represent us, not represent these special interest groups.
And I agree with that. And I hope I'm that candidate. I hope I always hold true to it. I think the legacy of the ones that before me and my family that was in politics have always lived that way.
Right.
And I think my daddy and my grandfather, they which when he was here, it wasn't as many people to be special people, but Dad managed to go all the way through as a farmer in a lawyer's world,
right,
and bring stuff back here and do everything he could.
Right.
And he was empowered with the trust to go and do stuff. And he came back, and he was always involved with his community and different things and places and right here when this was part of his district. But even when his district moved over, he never quit participating with the people that moved him and
right.
put him in. He stayed with them. He didn't just move on down the road because everything moved down the road. He stayed core to his base, and his base may not even been able to vote for him. You know what I mean?
Now you said earlier that you try not to be a part of special interest groups. Now does that mean that you're not at all interested in that, or you may be open to some special interest groups?
We have to address them because they are coming here. They are in business.
Right.
So as long as I'm not, I guess obligating myself to them, I'm gonna represent them the same as I am you.
Okay.
And everybody else. It's just try to be a it's a non-choice. I'm not gonna put special interests over the people's interests.
Gotcha. Because like I said, a caller just called in that was asking that question, and I'm glad you cleared it up. Now the other thing is, all politicians, from what I see, always talk about transparency, and in politics, transparency is about as elusive as Bigfoot. Because they say that. Because I had a guy swore on a stack of Bibles that, hey, look, I don't want to talk to you right now, Mr. Briggs, about what's going on. As soon as I get elected, I'm going to come on your show and I'm going to do it. We're going to sit down and talk about the issues. Once that guy got in office, he basically gave me the middle finger. But what happened to that transparency? But that's what you said. And that's what a lot of, like I said, transparency in politics is elusive as Bigfoot.
And that's true in a lot of cases.
But you said you're going to be, now, like I said, you don't have to come on my show, but I'm just asking, if you get elected on Tuesday, will you at least come once a quarter to let the people know what you're doing, what you're trying to do?
I'll do my best. You invite me and call me, and we get the schedule, and I'll try to be a little more prompt on time. In other words, I didn't know this opportunity the last night, so I apologize to your listeners.
Yes.
For not being here at 12 like I thought I would be, and I was running 15 minutes late.
But at least you showed up.
I'm also a working fellow, but I'm also make myself available. I'm getting into this because people ask me to.
Yes.
Okay. I'm never just really been a politician. When Dad had his stroke, and he decided that he couldn't do that job anymore. He gracefully stepped down and handed it over to whoever that they ran, had a special election. He didn't feel he could do the job, and
yes.
So that's the last politicking I did as far as politics, but I was politicking for him.
Right.
So this is not something I've tried to go out and do every year, and I'm just now winding up here. So I'm hoping that I can be, over this 2 years, proof will be in the pudding before the next election, and that I can prove a worthy person for the community, because that's all I'm doing this for, is to try to uplift our community, District 3, but also I want to compliment the Marshall County.
Yes, sir.
I mean, you want to stand for your people, but the whole county is your people too. So these are the pertinent people that's in your house, and we got to take care of the grounds too, which that's Marshall County, and so you got to make it all. You got to make it all work. And I'm sure that there's times that you're going to have to give something to get something. If it's not something just totally crazy, I depend on God to try to guide me.
Yes.
I believe in prayer, and I believe in direction, because He's blessed me very much over the last 20-something years to in this business of making decisions, and so I let Him be my final call that I make, and then I follow my heart.
Now let me ask you this: what are your views on appointments? People are appointed into certain jobs. I mean, my thing is, I'm totally against appointments, because why are these people being appointed in there? Why we can't do what we're doing now and have an election? Now, my understanding is, well, in Mississippi, when a seat comes vacant, you have to appoint somebody in that seat. Which
that's what I'm told too. Now, that's all I know.
But then now we're having this election. But then what it is, you got people appointed in positions. Okay. They said we got to do that. Then now you got people taking money from special interest groups. I mean, my thing is, how can we trust you or anybody if they're taking money from people that's not have nothing to do with Marshall County?
I agree with you.
How can I trust that person? Whatever district you in. And then another thing, I done asked everybody, hey, then gave open opportunity to come on my show and let's talk about what you're doing, what you're trying to do, what couldn't be done, why couldn't you do it? Now, it was always brought to the board to come to right here to the radio station and talk about it. Well, we ain't got it, ain't in the budget and that. Okay, this show is free. This show is free.
That's right.
So only one supervisor came on, and then you're the second. Well, you're the third. You're the third candidate that comes on. But see, I don't want this to be, like I said, like this Bigfoot situation, to where y'all come on my show when y'all running, and then if y'all win, and then I don't see y'all no more. Because what I do, I give out grades every year annually, but I'm going to up that because it's right now just supervisors. But it's going to go into administrators. It's going to go into the road management. I mean, it's going to be Marshall County as a whole. Everybody receives a grade. One guy got an F last year and got an F minus this year. Guy that got an F last year got a C this year. But then he done did some kind of shady stuff, so he might get an F next year. Because taking money from outside entity, to me, it's just a bad light. It just sheds a bad light on you and what you say you represent and what you're trying to do. Because like I said, when people are getting money from people, they're not giving you money because they think you look cute. They giving you money because they want something.
That's right.
So if you taking the money, you taking the bait, what are you taking it for? Well, I needed it to run my campaign, but just like you and a couple of other candidates, they said they run it out of their pocket. They've got friends and family helping them run their campaign. So these people, they're not bought and paid for.
That's right.
But like I said, I posted it on my page. I posted it on my podcast. I posted it on Marshall County Watch Facebook page, on my personal Facebook page. These guys' financial statements showing in their own writing They own handwriting where they took this money. So what are you taking it for? These people want something from you.
Well, usually if you give something to somebody, you are looking for something in return.
That's the way the world is set up.
And that's the reason, I could have asked every one of my contractors to help me, and it would show that I had money from here and here and here, even though that they didn't have no interest. I even had some that said they were going to, and I said that's all right. I got because they are from Memphis, they're not from here, and I knew that I was only going to do I mean, I've tried to get out and do what I could, and I've kind of set up a limit on what I was going to do because, like I say, this is a special election. But the main thing is, if we get people involved, we ain't got to do all this stuff.
But look,
this community back involved, but they got to have confidence in us to be involved.
But see, this money,
in all kind of ways.
this money we talking about. This just the money we talking about. These are checks. You see what I'm saying? These are just checks that they have to let us know about the checks. They got to report the checks. What about the cash money? You know what I'm saying? Who knows what that amount is?
That's right.
What about the cash money? How do we know you didn't?
I hope that they wouldn't.
I guarantee you. I guarantee you, it's some cash money that didn't go on no signs or no cards or didn't come here to the radio station and stuff like that. Didn't go on no sign. That's the money we don't know about. Is the cash money. These are just checks.
That's right.
Because I can give you a check from me, personal check from me, and then you put that on here. You write that down because you got to report that. And then I could take $10,000 from my corporation and give you that, and you ain't got to report that. So it's underlying money we don't even know. Because if you taking this money, what other money you taking?
Yeah, that could be very true. I would hope that that's not. I would hope that they would be reporting what they are.
That's kind of like believing in the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus.
But in the backside, we do try to have to hold a little. We've got to try to hope that a little faith in everybody is better than maybe sometimes than what they are or they're not. Because we can't lose some faith in mankind. I know sometimes
I got faith in.
The evidence comes in, and if there's evidence, then that's a different story.
I got faith in you until you show me different.
That's right,
and that's the way I am. Every politician, if they come on my show, we won't talk about this.
Right.
I'm gonna let them tell the people themselves what they're about. I'm not gonna question them in any way. This is not a gotcha show.
That's right.
This is information.
I would be here if I thought it was. That's the reason I came. I met you the other night, and I said, if I get a chance, you invited me to the podcast. And
news, views, and opinions. That's what we're about. But I'm not trying to. If any candidate come on here, we will not talk about any of that. I want you to come on and tell, just like you're doing, what you plan on doing for the people. What you about. And I believe you until you show me different. I think that's only fair.
And I think that's how we're supposed to be with all men. I mean, I think we're supposed to look on them instead of assuming or assumptions. They're so easy to do. And then that diminishes our faith in man. I mean, if they're going to be bad, they're going to prove it to you.
Yes, exactly.
But we got to give everybody. I think it's just like this. We went to a society to where you're guilty and you got to prove your innocence. And I still believe in the Constitution where you're innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly. That's my thing.
But we have gotten to where people categorize people and they go ahead and put them, somewhere without having the facts or something in front of you to give you a insinuation of this or that.
See, this is what happened. This is what happened yesterday. I got a call. I got several calls about this situation. And my first thing was, hold on a minute. I can't talk about that. I said, well, why not? I said, well, I need proof that this is actually happening. I mean, you just can't just call me and tell me, then I run with it. But then next thing I know, I get email after email after email of all this stuff that's going on. So now I got it in black and white that this is what this person did. So then, Marsh County, what? If I'm watching out for you, I got to let you know.
That's right.
But like I said, but at the same time, I'm not going to say, well, y'all need to vote for Ray Woods. No, Ray Woods is going to tell you what he want to tell you. And the only thing I can do is tell you what these other people, what they're doing, what they're not doing, what they should be doing. I'm just going to report the news. It's a news organization. I'm going to report the news. So you tell the people what you're going to do. And then you can't say, well, Vernon Briggs did it. No, you said it.
That's right.
You tell them. This is not a gotcha. And then, like I said, you, as far as I know, you've been running a pretty clean campaign. You ain't been doing a whole lot of throwing dirt like a lot of people do. And all this other stuff. And I don't do that. But if you did something, you took some money, you took some money. But not saying you did. I'm talking about, what we're talking about. So people need to get out and vote so we can stop this. Like I said, it will get out of that. But it don't matter who you vote for. It's going to be the same no matter what. No, we can stop that. We can stop that Tuesday. Tuesday, we can stop that. You got the evidence. You know who taking money. You know who they taking money from. You make your decision. You want the same or you want different. It's up to y'all. I can only just put it out there. But I'm not telling you who to vote for. Make your own decision. But it's there. And we got Mr. Ray Woods right here, a candidate. Hey, he ain't taking no money. He ran his own thing. And we got other candidates like that. So we got a choice. We got a choice to make. We just got to make it. And what else you got for us, Mr.
Well,
Woods?
I'd like for people to. It's so easy, and I know this whole motion of life has gotten to where it seems like we're on a 100-mile-an-hour car. I mean, It's just going so fast, and but people say, well, it doesn't matter. My vote don't count. Every vote counts. That's the greatest. That's the only right that nobody has taken because we don't use it. If we used it all the time, they'd be trying to figure out how to take it from you. Right?
No, go ahead.
They'd be trying to figure out how to take it from you because you were using it all the time. Our ratio for the people versus how many people vote, it's sad. Because it's just it's a special thing that you possess, and if you change at the bottom, is what's going to change at the top. Okay, if you don't like what's at the top, you got to change at the bottom. It moves up, and the participation of voting is just it's a right that you have that needs to be exercised.
We got two things. What we got? We got a caller. All right, and you? Okay, caller. What I would say about that. And I'll let and Mr. Woods want to chime in on that too. But I think that's a special interest group that's buying that property. They saving it for something. We won't know until we see it, but they're saving it for something. And I think that's who's buying that property. Now, for them not buying your property, they're not buying for the same thing. They want you to go down on your price because they got all the money. They got time. They hoping you ain't got time. So you go down on your price, then that's why they'll buy it. Like I said, they just sitting there and wait. Oh, he gonna drop the price sooner or later. Now that's my opinion on that. What about you, Mr. Wood?
Well, and here in Holly Springs, I don't know if that would be the city itself, but as far as I know, and I hadn't been on the board, so I don't know what all they do buy and don't. But most of the real estate that I've ever seen the county buy has been like in the industrial park or like Bahaya's little industrial park. Okay. They bought some to promote people when they were going to move in there, and the IDA did, and I'm sure that they own some in Holly Springs, and I'm sure they own some in Potts Camp, and they own some in Bahia, and I know they own some at the industrial park out there.
Okay.
Now, anything else, I've never noticed the county tag on it.
Okay, guys.
And I use a thing called Land Glide all the time when I'm doing my work, and it tells me landowners around it if I'm looking for a direction. And I haven't noticed that unless I'm in those areas, what I'm talking about.
And I hope that answers your question, caller. Like I said, this is news, views, and opinion, and that's my opinion on this. I believe, special interest groups got their fingers in it because they deep in Marshall County. And then, Mr. Wood, we had another question. I didn't get a chance to get to it. They want to know if you're elected, will you be transparent And we kind of covered that, but will you be transparent and will you come back to let the people know about what you're doing? But I think we can go over it again because I mean, want to answer that question.
Like I said, you invite me, I'll try to come. We'll get an arrangement. We'll get a certain time, like you said, about every 6 months. I don't mind giving a reform, but I'm gonna try to have something that people can time, especially in my district.
Right.
Like I say, all Marshall County is part of a supervisor's responsibility,
right.
Because you're one of 5. It's just not District 3. District 3 is home. Those are your main people that's going to elect you. That you got that, and that's what I'm worried about is the infrastructure and convenience, schools, stuff for District 3. But I also see other things through the county that needs help. If those supervisors are looking to change, there's things I see I would like to support them.
It was another part to that question too, and you basically just answered. They wanted to know were you going to be available when people have concerns. That was the second part of that.
Yes.
And then you answered that too.
I'm gonna have some kind of platform or something. I hadn't got that far yet. We got to get in there, and then I'm gonna try to do something that I can set up that I can always turn around and respond back to people.
Yeah, they said they want somebody that they can. He'd be rather if they got a concern, they want to talk to you because there's a lot of them out there you can't talk to because I get it all the time. That I'm calling my supervisor that I can't get in contact with him. And then to the caller, that was my opinion. But tune in next Saturday at noon, and I will have a better answer for that because I will research that. And that's what I need people to do. Call in, give me stuff to look up. I ain't got nothing else to do. I'll find out what's going on with the land within the city like that. Because you need to know, and a lot of other people probably need to know the same thing. I will definitely dig into that and find out what we got going on with that, with the land that being passed up, some being bought, and what are we storing it for? Why are we buying all this land? We ain't developing nothing on it, so what do we want it for? I'll find out. Tune in next Saturday, and that's going to be one of my topics. What else you got for that, Mr. Wood?
Well, number one, I just want to thank the audience here and you for giving me the opportunity to be here today and to share what we've already shared. That's pretty good topics. And the main thing that I'd really like to share is please get out and vote. It doesn't matter who you decide to vote for, but we need to exercise this. Last 2 years ago in the main election, we're down like in the 30 to 35% across the whole county.
Right. I mean that's
worse of people getting out and vote, and it doesn't take that long. If everybody gets and goes and votes, and it takes a long time, I'm sure whether I get it or whoever else gets it, that they can get together and get more voting spots.
Exactly.
More voting
exactly.
Votes. I mean, but only the people can make that happen.
And that's what my show's about. We need to get out and vote. If we want to change something, we got to change it. I mean, it's only going to be the same, like everybody's saying. It don't matter who you vote for, it's going to be the same. That's because you're voting for the same person every time. If you want to change it, let's vote for somebody else, if that's what we need to do. Because this ain't work. If this hadn't worked, we need to do something else. We got other people that we can vote for, but I can tell you right now, 1, 2, and 3, from what I can see, it's the same. I think that one person that's running them, all 3 of those districts. I mean, that's my opinion. But then I got proof on my web page, on my podcast page, that shows what I'm talking about is real. We got one bad apple that doesn't spoil that whole bunch. And if they got 1, 2, and 3, they can do whatever they want to do. So y'all make the decision. We got about almost 10 more minutes left for this episode. So do we have any other callers, any other thing we need to cover? Have we got any other thing we want to cover? Anybody? Because Tuesday, let's get out. Please get out and vote for whoever you want to. I'm not pushing nobody. I'm not pushing Mr. Wood. Mr. Wood came on because he want to tell you what he got to say about, who he want to represent. He want to represent you. He ain't paid. He ain't bought and paid for. We got a caller. What we got, caller? All right, and you?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
So let me get this. So the question is, would you be more hands-on or would you delegate that to somebody else?
Well, I'm gonna be hands-on now. I wasn't looking for a job. I was asked to, would you step in and do this by a few citizens, not special interest and everything. So I'm gonna try to do my best to make myself accessible to everybody like I do every day. Anybody that a lot of times they pull up to my business and catch me, or they or the ones that have my number, somebody gives it to them and they call me that I deal with on a daily basis. I'm gonna do the same thing when we get supervisor. Now I do have two ladies that help me in business, and I want to set up some kind of a thing because I am still doing work. I still work like I don't delegate and sit in a truck.
Right.
I actually work hands on and do part of my business because we're a small business, and and help is hard to get these days, and to do the kind of work I do because it's more physical and people. A lot of young people don't do that, but I want to make myself to where all the people of District 3 and anybody else can get in touch with me if you're from Marshall County. I mean, because I think after you take care of your district, then you're supposed to help the other man over here in his district if he needs you. And sometimes you might need to overstep your bounds. I don't know. I've known a lot of people. I know a lot of people in a lot of districts that are friends. And I always try to give them when they call and ask me advice. I influence, what I can on it.
Well, Mr. Wood, this is what I'm glad you said that because I've had several reports on supervisors that hanging up on people, cussing people out, or they just can't reach this guy. And we need to get rid of all that. And you sound like you're an upstanding guy and that you're gonna do what you say. Cause like I said, I believe you until you show me something different. But I know we need a change in District 3. But that's not up to me. That's up to the people that I'm talking to right now. And that's pretty much our show. I want to thank you and appreciate you for coming by and sharing everything with us. And I want to thank the callers and I want to thank all the listeners because we're Marshall County Watch and we're watching out for you. And if y'all got anything, like I said, put it on my webpage. You can also put it on my podcast page. And when I'm on live at WKRA 92.7 Holly Springs, you can give me a call, and I'll be glad to talk to you about it, find out what's going on. And we got another call before we get off here. We need someone when you call about these roads, okay, out to fix them, not ignore it. Okay, the supervisor, what they can do, if they're really concerned about what you're calling about what's going on with you, they should be riding those roads. They got a brand new truck we paid for. One of them, I think, was $80,000. They can go out there and ride around and see what's going on the roads. And they don't actually go out and fix the roads themselves, but they can get in the road manager's ear and say, hey, look, I got a situation over there on Iceland Chapel, because that's why I said they should be ready, available, just like Mr. Wood was saying. They should be involved to where you call about the road, they get with the road manager, and then the road manager, Mario Jeffries, he'll go out there and get the road fixed for you. Now, Mario, you're gonna be on the hook next year because you're gonna get a grade 2 next year. But right now, as far as I'm concerned, Mario's been getting an A+. I mean, if I call him about a road, if I call him and say, hey, this caller need a hey, Mario is right out there on it. But why am I doing it? Your supervisor's supposed to be doing that. But you're absolutely right. But that's not really the supervisor's job to fix it. But it is his job to make sure it get done. Because if he's in his district, he should know that your road is bad and he should be fixing it. And you're absolutely right. We appreciate you, caller. And like I was saying, get out and vote Tuesday. Make sure you get out and vote. And we're going to change this stuff. That's the only way. Because what are people going to do? They're going to vote for these same people. Then they're going to call me for the next year complaining about it. If you vote for them, don't complain about them. I mean, they're going to later call me. Well, I got a pothole in my road. I've been calling my supervisor for 3 weeks and I couldn't get in contact with him and I voted for him. Don't vote for him no more. A lady, I voted for him, and I don't even know what he looks like. Why did you vote for him? You don't even know him. I mean, I get calls like that all the time. But we got an opportunity to get out and vote. Go out Tuesday. Vote for whoever you want to. But remember, if you vote for these same people, you got to live with it for the next 2 years. And then we're getting ready to get out of here. I appreciate everybody. Appreciate the call. Appreciate your comments. And next Saturday, like I said, every Saturday at noon, we won't always be on the radio, but we will always be live on Marshall County Watch podcast. And till next time, what I want you guys to do is to be safe, keep watch, because Marshall County Watch is watching out for you. Remember that.